Hello, basketball fans, and welcome to episode 34 of the NBA Files here on RBNTV.TV. I am your host, Felicia Michelle, and as always, sitting here with Mr. Kwame Fisher-Jones and Mr. Everett Terry Facts.
Facts.
So,
I like that.
like
This is crazy. This is getting out of hand.
So we're gonna.
This is getting out of hand.
We just started, so we're gonna kick it off. All right, so guys, what was the biggest surprise of the draft? Biggest draft surprise.
I'll let you start first, facts.
Okay, so the
Incorrect
biggest
facts, fiction.
goodbye. So the biggest
Fiction. That'll be
so
my
the
response.
biggest draft surprise to me was the fact that the Boston Celtics, despite all the rumors, the fact that they needed to make a splash, take Jason Tatum after trading out of the first pick. This was a draft where Danny Ainge was allegedly supposed to be using the assets, all the talent that he's accumulated, and use it to make a move that puts the Celtics in a relevant conversation about being legitimate contenders to the Cavaliers. He did none of that. He stood pat. He actually traded down. Gets a guy who has talent, but people question if he was worth going third overall to a team that Tatum going there doesn't put them over the edge. He makes them no more better than they were because they've already got guys like Jay Crowder on the roster. So that to me was the biggest surprise that I saw. I expected him to make another move. He didn't. He didn't take any of the big names we heard him ticketed to, and it kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yo, you went team, but I like that, and it's funny that we start out with a bad nickname, but we actually rounded up to me making a good point. I guess that's just one for the day.
Facts.
Facts,
There it is.
exactly.
Facts.
Porzingis, still in New York.
Ah.
When you pull the layers back of this story, you hear it, for those of you who don't know, Porzingis blows off the end of the season meeting, which is paramount for every team because it lets you know where your star's head is, what he's looking for, places to improve, what he would like the team to be, and obviously Porzingis is the future of the Knicks. So he blows off that meeting. Then he has his people send out, he's a mysterious tweet comes out in his account that says he wants to go to the Clippers.
Right.
But, he was spammed.
hacked.
Yeah, he was hacked.
Of course, everybody's account is hacked when it's something stupid.
Yeah, it's like the sex tape that sneaks out. It wasn't in my gym. It just fell out. It wasn't my bad.
It's okay to people drinking sweet. It happens.
But the thing about it is, we just got an insight to her Friday nights. The thing about it
Facts.
exactly, facts. The thing about it is, though, for Porzingis to do that, and then the final step is that he pushes out that he's on the trading block. So it wasn't the Knicks. It was Porzingis' people, allegedly, that put out that he's on the trading block. So obviously this dude wants out. You got a guy, Carmelo, who's willing to stay, and you're trying to move him out with every piece of hot garbage you have. But you allow Porzingis, who blew off a meeting, Derrick Rose, who blew off a game, not practice, a game.
We ain't talking about
practice.
We ain't talking about
It took that. I laid that up for both of them. Got right on it. For him to stay, that
Shout
was
out to
the
AI.
biggest surprise to me. And a guy that below the radar that I really, really like, Frank Mason III, going to Sacramento. I thought that was an odd fit for him. It surprised me. We'll talk more about that later. And your man, 50 grand Malik Monk.
There it is.
Dropping to 11.
Charlotte dropping. Yeah.
Michael Jordan making a pick that makes sense.
That
Those are the
makes
surprises.
sense.
Real quick on the Tatum deal. Anthony Davis rumored to go there, Porzingis rumored to go there, Paul George rumored to go there, and they walk back.
Swing and a miss.
The way they come back with
Tatum.
Jason Tatum, who was going to be probably the biggest bust. He'll
Listen,
be the
all of
Western
St.
Johnson.
Louis is excited for him. I know people in St. Louis who know him, who are family to him, who are very excited about him getting drafted, and I'm very happy for the young man. I think in terms of draft prospects, while he was one of the more polished offensive scorers in terms of all around overall talent, he wasn't the best pick on the board when you've got Josh Jackson there, who is my guy that I thought should have went there.
I'm gonna use a phrase from your 20s. He was in his. Danny Ainge was in his feelings.
Oh.
He was in his feelings.
He was in his
He was in
feelings.
his feelings.
Hey.
She likes to test people because he was upset. This is crazy to me. Josh Jackson blew off the interview for them. Right? Wouldn't come out and work out for them. So Danny Ainge admits after drafting Tatum that they passed on Jackson because Jackson blew him off.
Stupid.
Really?
Stupid.
Do you want? I mean, I relay everything. I think all of life's mysteries can be solved in relationships in the movie Friday. It's like you have you have the young lady who tells you no, and you decide you don't want to mess with her. You want the one that's going to make you work for it. You don't want the guy that's going to bend over and say, I want to go to the Celtics, I want to be in a crowded backcourt, crowded front court, I don't want to be a star, I want to fight for it. No, you want the guy that doesn't want to go there, that you turn around. That you turn around and makes want to be, because you know he's committed to one thing. So if you can turn around and make him committed to your organization, you know, he'll ride for me. I want the guy that claps back.
And the part about it that's funny is that he's not the first guy to blow off a team, and he won't be the last. But there have been teams in the past who've blown off teams and still got drafted anyway.
Steph Curry comes to mind.
There it is.
Okay, so we discussed some of the surprises from the draft. Let's jump into some possible successes. Okay, so Everett, tell me, all right, give me 2 players who you think that, all right, so they are in the best position to succeed, not because off of like their individual talents as players, but like off of the team that they were drafted to.
Josh Jackson is the first one that comes to mind. He goes to a team like Phoenix that was dying for perimeter defense. It's going to allow him an opportunity to run up and down the floor with the way that they run their offense. He's going to have an opportunity to play in space. And he's in a market like Phoenix that has like zero focus on football. They're all about retirement communities and vacationing. So, I mean, I'm sorry, basketball. You know, they could care less. So he's in a market where if he doesn't come up and put up 25 a game with 8 steals and 6 blocks, nobody's going to jump over the fence and scream at him versus being in a major market, a major basketball market, like a Boston, like a Philly, where there's all these expectations of their first-round picks because they've had guys that have been boom or bust. The other guy, the second guy that comes to mind for me is going to be De'Aaron Fox, Mr. Kwame's guy, because number one, he got to go into the perfect situation. You get to go and be the first pick in a rebuilding Sacramento organization. And Vlade Divac, probably for the first time in 15 years, Sacramento made a good draft pick, and getting a guy in De'Aaron Fox who's going to help turn around this organization. And Vlade Divac actually looks like a GM who, for all intents and purposes, based on what he said a couple of years ago, might have Sacramento further along than DeMarcus Cousins out there with the Pelicans. Because I think that with the draft that they had, and by the way, they're my winners of this draft, they have a chance in 2 to 3 years to be a really legitimate young team. So I love with De'Aaron Fox being that guy that's going to change the culture. He has a winner's mindset. He has heart. He has grit. He's going to run and play on both ends of the floor. I think that he puts them in a position to lead by example, to change the culture of those guys.
I'm excited about watching him and Lonzo Ball go at it too.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I think that's
great. They're going to see each other multiple times a year.
Because Sacramento, I don't know if one of you have been to LA, but Sacramento's like light years, even though it's only 5 hours away from Los Angeles. It's
light years different.
It's like Bedrock versus like, the Jetsons. So
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say I lost.
I know those shows.
I lost you
from Netflix.
But yeah, I love that pick. Malik Monk.
Touche.
Kemba Walker tilting the defense, penetrating, allowing Monk to run around. And the precedent that's been set for that defense is, for the backcourt defense, Kemba Walker he's not a good defender. I'll be kind.
Right.
So Malik Monk won't have to follow that. If he's adequate, it'll be good enough. Also, Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz is in the best position to succeed. I likened him to Kyrie Irving in that draft. The Sixers, as long as he puts up numbers, this fan base will gravitate towards him. Ben Simmons has to carry the weight here. If the Sixers don't win, it'll be because of Ben Simmons. It won't be because of Markelle Fultz. Because he's going to score points. If one thing that boy can do is score.
Fair.
That's it. He ain't going to get you much else, but he can score. And finally, hometown cat, Josh Hart. Josh Hart going to the Lakers.
Bottom of the draft.
30th pick in the first round. We mentioned him on our draft show, which you can check out now on RadioVisionNetwork.com or RVNTV.tv or the Facebook page. Shameless plug. Josh Hart, I mentioned him early in the teens, in 10 through 15, and you didn't like him there.
Right. I said it's too high. I said he could go, but not there.
But I thought the talent and the value was worth the pick. Him going to the Lakers, perfect situation.
Because now makes Clarkson expendable on a trade.
Not only does it make Clarkson expendable on a trade, he'll get an opportunity to play.
He's going to get minutes.
And he's a good basketball player. He's not great at one thing, but he's a guy that will play 10 to 15 years in the league. He's a guy that will be productive, and he's a guy that fits perfectly with Ingram and Ball running that wing. I'm excited.
Juan Dixon. That's what Juan Dixon. In terms of visibility,
I think he's a little better than Juan Dixon. I think he's a better athlete, better defender, and better basketball player.
Fair. I'm talking about in terms of visibility, to have a decent NBA career, to last a while.
Don't mock me.
Yikes. Juggling show 101. To survive in the NBA, to have a decent career, to come from a highly touted program that was a champion. Because remember, Juan Dixon won with Maryland. Mm-hmm. He won with Villanova. Correct. So you're going to see a guy that has a champion's pedigree come into an organization and a culture trying to get back and winning, and you put that around a bunch of guys that are also learning how to win, and it just kind of breeds an era of success.
I'm excited. I like a lot of the moves here. I didn't like some of them. Harry Giles, you didn't mention him in Sacramento, but I think he's in a perfect situation with Riley Goldenstein. I love Swanigan.
I love that pick because he gets to go and play in Portland. Remember, prior to the draft, there were rumors that the Spurs were trying to ship Aldridge back to Portland. Mm-hmm. And so now you get Swanigan, a double-double machine in college.
Not just a double-double. Say that man's numbers. 18 and 13.
Listen,
in college basketball today.
A beast. Listen, he's a double-double machine. at the college level at a big-time program that for most part wasn't always on the radar, but he helped to keep them relevant. Little slow-footed, not the most athletic guy in the world, but can play the game of basketball, has good footwork around the hoop, also decent in terms of defending his position. Not great, but good, solid. You put him in a position like Portland, where we're going to come to Portland in a minute. I like the fact that he comes in and he immediately should be the starting power forward.
He will. And I liken him to Zach Randolph.
Yes, that's who Gabe reminds me of.
With the same mean streak, but I love his story, and I don't get caught up in a lot of stories. It's like, you know, blah blah blah. You're talking my hair off, you know. Like I said,
I don't care about your life.
Yeah, I really don't.
Play the game.
Just make the sandwich, dude. Chicken sandwich, man. I really don't want to converse about it, but 100 pounds. Lost 100 pounds since he was in high school. Yes,
yeah.
100 pounds,
Yeah,
and he's still chubby. I mean,
imagine if he loses 20 more.
But I was just about to say, this is a kid that will give you multiple homeless shelters coming up. Mm-hmm. He's an introverted kid, but he's driven. You give him a quality chef. You give him a guy that doesn't need much to succeed. Now you're giving him everything that he needs.
In a market that's going to keep him out of trouble and give him a good stability.
And you got that pit bull in front of him, Damian Lillard.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, I want to stop you right there. So we didn't jump in.
Look at you jumping.
Okay, yeah.
Hey,
get rid of that purple pen, too. Go ahead with that lavender nonsense.
Okay. That was worse. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's jump to some things that you may have had a moment of clarity to think about. So Kwame, Jonathan Isaac goes to Orlando. Mm-hmm. Everett's fave, Malik Monk, drops to number 11, right? Mm-hmm. These picks, a lot of people question. So what pick didn't you like on Thursday, and what do you now think maybe you didn't like, but it might be the right call?
It's what Chicago did.
Right. Chicago did. You know what? We agree.
What Chicago did.
We agree.
You
guys agree?
We agree.
Oh, I need
I had to read
or something.
We both agree that you looked nice today. It's usually you were just late, so you didn't get that part. But look,
he said that.
He did too. He said it when you walked up. You walked away.
Thanks, guys.
You tried to sell me on Jimmy Butler going to Minnesota.
I did.
And I called Biss. I said, yo, he's bugging. I don't like that trade. Now I sit back and think of what Chicago did. They unloaded a media superstar, not a true NBA star. He's a hard worker. Jimmy Butler's a good player.
Right.
But they got Zach LaVine, who with the right training staff can get back to form.
Give you the same amount of point production.
And give you the same amount of athleticism and pop, whether it's in a slam dunk competition.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
He makes you relevant when you're rebuilding. Chris Dunn, who I didn't like coming out of Providence, but a lot of people,
but didn't love him.
People sold me that he was going to be this, he was going to be that, he was a great point guard.
Hard worker on defense.
You know what I mean? He was all these things, and I was like, I'm not seeing it on tape. But they finally solidified their point guard position because they're going to roll the ball out and let him play. And then adding Lauri Markkanen.
Stretch floor. That's what Hoiberg screamed, I need a stretch floor. Because Mirotic was god-awful for last year and a half.
Hoiberg, and it's funny, college players, this is why I want to give Billy Donovan credit sometimes. College players don't develop their talent. We argue about this. We argue about the Celtics draft. I believe the Celtics have solid players. Their player development. It's the same thing the Sixers go with. The development department is lacking, and when you have younger guys coming into the NBA, you have an older player development department or marginal players trying to develop hybrid talent. There's a schism there. You need to restructure your development department. That's why the Spurs are so good, because they develop these guys. So when you take this dude and you bring him in, and you run through multiple point guards, whether it's the cat from OKC, Russell Westbrook's dancing partner. He don't really get his name. He don't get his name. He doesn't deserve to have his name mentioned. No, it's not Reggie Jackson. It's another dude. But he don't need to have his name mentioned. Yeah, he's Russell Westbrook's old dancing partner. Or whether it's MCW. We're not gonna say his name. Right. He got to get minutes to get his name. Okay. He ain't Destiny's Child. Nobody said his name. MCW, Rookie of the Year. Everybody they get of any talent, Mirovic, who's good, they seem to squander. But I like Markkanen, self-motivated dude. I actually like Zach LaVine, who was flourishing and has a higher upside than Andrew Wiggins. That's why Butler's in Minnesota. So I really like what Chicago did, even though the world doesn't like it.
I didn't hate the move for Chicago. I thought both teams actually win in this deal. Jimmy Butler loved Tom Thibodeau. He developed him into the player that he was, because remember, Jimmy Butler wasn't a high-end lottery pick. He was, mid to lower round. Mid to lower rounds. And so you put him with a coach who developed him into the player that he was, to whom he probably owes a lot of his NBA success to, because he coached him pretty much his entire career. And then you take him out of a market where he was a little bit maligned, playing with Dwayne Wade, seeing, a Hall of Famer that he respected, and they're struggling to make the playoffs. I mean, they were playing putrid. They weren't getting effort from guys, and I think he was just burnt out being there. There wasn't the same level of respect for Hoiberg coming in, I think. I think he was professional about it, but I think behind the scenes he was disenchanted with the way that Hoiberg coached the team and focused more on offense than defense. And, Thibodeau cares nothing about offense and everything about defense. And if you listen to what Jimmy Butler said, he said, I'm excited to be back with Coach Tibbs. We're going to be the toughest team on the floor every single night.
Yeah, I called this.
And listen, I think, though, if anybody can get Andrew Wiggins motivated to play, it'll be a Jimmy Butler. I think he can get him to play because we already know Andrew Wiggins can score. I mean, he put up 23 and 20 the last 2 seasons, so he can score. That's fine. What they need him to do is be more aggressive on the defensive end. He has the talent to do it with his arms, his reach, his length, but what he's got to get better at is his focus on his on-ball perimeter defense, and that's where Jimmy Butler can help develop him, giving him tips and tools and things like that. And I think it's all that's going to help Karl-Anthony Towns because he won't have to bear the load of a guy blown by Levine or a guy blown by Wiggins, and he getting caught when he has to step up and the man sleeping behind him for the easy dunk. So it's going to help the entire team defense by adding a guy like Butler who's going to be a lockdown perimeter defender.
I'm going to just piggyback on Andrew Wiggins. The jig is up. To quote the great philosopher Kendrick Lamar, the jig is up. We are going to find out who Andrew Wiggins really is. And I likened him to Jerry Stackhouse.
No.
You don't believe it, but pointless points. They don't give you anything. They don't impact the game. And you saw this with Andrew Wiggins in college. He didn't have that. Like, he was going to work to be a good player, but he wasn't going to take on the mantle to be a championship player. And I'm reading reports where people say now Andrew Wiggins can go to the third wheel where he's more comfortable. He was the first pick in the draft. Philly was winless for Wiggins. He was supposed to be that dude, and he's just a dude at this point. So I think adding Jimmy Butler just kind of pulls
I hope his mom don't ever watch this.
Listen, Karl-Anthony Towns was the first pick in the draft, so you can't have everybody be the first wheel. I mean, listen, Karl-Anthony Towns is the staple of that team.
Yes,
I'm not going to sit here and act like he's not.
Hold on.
He's the staple of that team.
You are the first pick in the draft. You have to be good.
That's Karl-Anthony Towns.
But so was Andrew Wiggins.
Listen, there can't be 2 Batmans. There needs to be a Batman and a Robin.
I don't deal with that. No, there is 2 Batmans. There's an Avengers movie.
Shaq and Kobe, Batman, Robin.
No, there was no Robin.
Guys, really quick. Worst picks of the draft. Quick.
I'll let you go first.
All right, my worst pick was Zach Collins. I'm so baffled by that. I said when it happened, it still baffles me now. Not because of the fact that when he went to the Kings, it was a little puzzling, but the fact that he was then traded to Portland, who traded for Nurkic from Denver during the season, and Nurkic played well until the end of the year. We got hurt, had some injuries, suspensions, whatever. But my thing is, why did you make that move? I get it. He's a 7-footer. He's a mountain of a man. People are going to come inside, but he's slow-footed. He doesn't translate well to the NBA. And to be a big, oaky, Caucasian man in an athletic NBA world,
it's always racial.
He's going to struggle in transition when guys are getting back on a break. He's going to have a hard time defending faster guys in his position. Karl-Anthony Towns would eat him alive twice on Saturday and every day on Sunday. Listen, he's too slow to play at the center position at the NBA level. I think he's a good player for Gonzaga, who ran more of a slow half-tempo court offense. But at the NBA, where guys are running up and down the floor, Golden State would shoot him out the gym. He wouldn't get cross half court before he's turning around and run back the other way. It makes no sense to me. Like, I'm puzzled by it. Like, I still don't get it. And they got Swanigan, so where's he going to play?
He's going to come off the bench. He's going to come off the bench.
You draft a bench player at 10?
Yeah, I didn't say it was right. I'm just telling you where it belongs. Real quick, Jonathan Isaac in Orlando. Get a definitive player, man. You had Monk there, you had Dennis Smith there. Get a definitive player. Just stop it.
I actually like that.
Okay, we are going to be right back because Everett needs to take a chill pill.
Yes.
Watching them
Chill
files on RBN
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right, no employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at.
Good Lord.
Thank y'all for coming back, because I almost wasn't here when y'all got back. Oh my
You
goodness.
trying to say I'm not too nice.
I didn't call you.
I
I'm
know.
so sorry.
It's
I was
all
saying
right.
on camera, I'm so
Sorry,
sorry
not
about
sorry.
that. I did
Yeah,
not
I know, right?
say that you were overweight. You are fitting that suit jacket snug and nice.
There it is.
So, since we ended the last segment with Everett kind of going off, let's show some love to the teams who did do it right. The people that you did like what they did. So, what team do you think made the best trade of the night?
Go ahead.
Oh, I get to kick this off?
Yeah, because you were left angry.
Sacramento Kings. Listen, I loved what they
You even
did.
got the purple on.
There it
you
is
go.
for the Sacramento Kings. Listen, so they kicked
does
it
look
off.
like lavender,
There it is.
man.
Thank you. Listen, so they kicked it off by taking De'Aaron Fox, who was a culture changer, as Kwame liked to allude to multiple times, a special player, one of only 3 in the draft. So they got a special player that's going to help change culture. They also added Justin Jackson, who's a knockdown, flat-out shooter who can play. I think he's
I
going
don't
to help
like
them.
Justin Jackson. And I gotta interrupt. No, I gotta interrupt you because you've been pushing
He
that
replaces
propaganda.
Rudy
I
Gay,
don't
who's
give
the
a rat's-
very same type of player.
I don't give a rat's blank about who he replaces. JJ is a stiff player that if he wasn't playing for North Carolina, people would not know who he was. I do not like Justin Jackson. I like what Sacramento did in terms of the other players, but I think Justin Jackson will be a guy that we don't hear from in 2 years.
Okay.
He'll be an NBDL also.
Sounds like Anthony Bennett. Excuse me.
Look, Anthony Bennett.
Sounds exactly like
I
Anthony
own up
Bennett.
to Anthony Bennett. I have
The
no
number
problem.
1 overall pick in the draft, by the way, who you said was going to be great at the
I
NBA
thought
level,
he
and
was.
that man's out there bagging groceries at the supermarket.
That is
That is
lies
shopping bag.
by you.
That's a respectable job.
That is a lie by
Coming
you.
from first overall pick in the
He's
NBA
playing
draft.
overseas. He's playing overseas.
Oh, so-
Okay,
overseas.
he's playing in China, eating cats and dogs, and not knowing what they're saying to
And
him.
you know what? Chilling with women that don't speak English. So he's
There it
winning.
is.
He's winning.
I guess.
He's winning.
I guess.
He's winning.
I guess.
We got
That
completely off
was so
subject.
sexist.
I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back here.
You don't want to communicate with women?
I didn't say that.
He
You
said,
just told me.
I hope your wife
She
is
told
watching
me
this.
during break that my jacket was too tight and she could see the veins in my arms. Now she's gonna try to say I don't want to communicate with women. Now, bringing it back. I don't like Justin Jackson. I like Harry. I love the addition of De'Aaron Fox. Another team though that you didn't mention, and it's the elephant in the room, if you will, it's the Nell Carter in the room, the Sixers. You know what? You may not appreciate who they got, but you love the fact that they went after.
they were wanting to go get it. And
And-
they protected the picks in the process.
Yeah, and
so they didn't give up the number 1 overall
you
on
just
any of
threw
those
that
picks.
word out there. You just threw that P word.
What, they
out there.
protected,
Process.
No, I'm not saying trust their process. I'm saying in terms of them being able to protect their picks, they did that successfully. They're not giving up a 1 overall in any of these trades. They and if the picks don't convey, then they take the lower of the 2. They really did a good job of
I
writing
know
this
that, but
out.
I love I respect.
That he was wanting to go too.
And they won the trade. They won the trade.
We agree.
Danny Ainge.
He lost.
He lost. Jason Tatum is. Well, we'll get to that later, but yeah, Fultz is going to score. He's going to score.
We agree.
And, Embiid's going to get hurt.
As long as he doesn't do what every other Sixers big and player has done the last couple of years and get hurt rookie year. Gotta play. Gotta play. If you get hurt, you have no value.
Embiid's going to get hurt. And the Sixers know that. Everyone knows that except for Embiid's Twitter followers. Ben Simmons, though, will be back, but he seems to need to have to find his way offensively. Fultz will score. It was a good move, and I give him credit for going after them. They probably could have stayed at 3, and he would have fell to them. But they said, you know what? I like this dude. I'm gonna hitch my wagon. Like I said, I'm gonna hitch that wagon to my donkey, and if he fails, that's my ass.
The power of media propaganda. They go up and go get Markelle Fultz, and they sell out of season tickets in 14 hours.
But that's called
They
being
couldn't
dumb
give away. They couldn't give away tickets in Happy Meals last season, and now they've sold out of season tickets in 14 hours. For moving on 2 spots to take a guy they weren't expected to take.
Who would have been there at 3? People are easily
There is
led in
my
the wrong
point.
direction. The man in the village of the blind, the man with one eye is king. All those things play a role there. But the fact of the matter is, I've told you this is why we do the show. Philadelphia is a basketball city. It's a basketball city. It's trendy to say it's a Sixer city. I mean, Eagle City, but the core of the city is Flyers and Sixers.
I don't know about Flyers, but we'll
man, they got a niche fan base like you wouldn't believe.
All 62,000 people in an entire city populace of almost 6 million. Yep, you're right.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Oh, mathematician over there.
Goodness,
Fake beautiful mind.
Oh. Everett just is in his house like.
You can say facts.
Here it is. That's
Facts
right.
with
Carry
a Z.
over.
Facts with a Z. Okay, so from the guys who move, so let's just move on, guys. You guys are making me laugh. Okay, so Kwame Andrew Wiggins is still in Minnesota. Kevin Love is still in Cleveland. Paul George is still in Indiana, as he says he will stay. LaMarcus Aldridge is still in San Antonio, and DeAndre Jordan is still in LA. Why do you think that is? Why didn't the vets get moved?
Simple. The value.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as good as they think they are. And we argue about this with New Orleans Noel. The world will tell you how good you are, and it's up to you to adjust. You may think you're the best looking man in the room. You walk into a room full of available women and no one talks to you. Facts. You're not. You know what I mean? So, and I'm still in your word, but it's
Why
the
you still
truth.
in? Yeah, why you still in?
Because I want him to understand.
that.
You do what you need to do, and I'll trademark fiction. But the bottom line is they are not as good as they thought they were. No one is willing to give up the second pick for your best player. You look at what the market was set by with Jimmy Butler, and you have to wonder what it was that the Indiana Pacers were looking for. What were they hoping to get back? Because they got in Chicago, they got a guy in Chris
King's
Dunn.
ransom.
Yeah, top 3 pick. They got a 7 pick, and then they also got a guy who's slam dunk competition or slam dunk winner. And then you wonder, well, what are the Pacers looking for? Do they think Paul George is that much better? DeAndre Jordan.
I'm gonna hit you with something. I don't think it's necessarily that it's not that Paul George isn't worth it. It's the fact that he's made it very public that he intends not to stay and will re-up in LA only. So if I'm a GM and I know that Paul George puts me over the top, like a la Cleveland, I give them whatever it is that they want.
I don't think he puts them over the top. You know,
we agree, but I'm just using it as an example. My argument is, do I give up all the assets in my war chest to go get a guy who I know for a fact has been on the record as saying I'm only going to stay 1 year? Because even if the offseason comes, and let's say they win a championship, at the end of the day, if he chooses to leave and go to LA, now I'm left with nothing. I have a hole, and I've got an aging veteran in LeBron who wants to only compete for championships, which means I could potentially lose him too in a 2-for-1.
And you have no first round picks,
nothing to build
which,
on.
you know, we'll talk
there
about
it is.
We'll talk about that.
That's why guys like that are still where they are.
Well, we'll talk about the general manager. I don't think Paul George puts anybody over. When you're talking about adding a perennial all-star and then having to go get someone, that's a problem. So if you're talking about adding Paul George, who does he put over the top? He doesn't put Cleveland over the top.
Depends on who they give up.
Well, no, it really doesn't. If they give up, they keep Kyrie, Paul George, LeBron James, and let's say
Kevin
Tristan
Love.
Thompson. And, well, I'm saying they keep Tristan Thompson. That team isn't going to put a much better fight up than what they had because Kevin Love may not have been the alpha that everyone wants, but he put up pretty good numbers and he scored in good spots. And he rebounded at a high level.
What it does give them is 2 perimeter defenders to guard Golden State's 3 perimeter scorers.
But the bigger problem,
you throw Tristan Thompson on Draymond and just let him beat you.
But the bigger problem is the fact that it doesn't put you over the top. It may put you in the room, it may put you close to the top, but it doesn't put you. So why are you going to give it up?
Listen, they lost in 5. I think Paul George gives them a win. It pushes them to
Okay,
7.
6,
It pushes them to 7.
maybe 7, but it doesn't.
6, maybe 7.
Putting them over the top
Well,
means you win.
you want a lock? Like nobody
Kevin
gets a
Durant
lock.
put Golden State over the top, but hold on.
Yes, because they were a 73-win team who got the second best player in NBA. Like How often does that happen? Once in a
That's
generation?
the point. That's the point.
There's no other
You're
opportunity out there
waiting
you
for
can do
that move to happen.
It's not
so
gonna
these
happen.
other guys that are mentioned, while they're big media dudes, active, whatever have you, they're not guys that are going to make that much of a alteration or a reroute on your direction as far as your franchise is going.
I mean, there's no team out there that gets over the top with any one move like what Kevin Durant did going to Golden State. There isn't. There isn't.
That's what I'm, but the point
You're
is, you
more
got
likely to wait for
LeBron,
them to implode.
Kevin Durant, and maybe I can't even think of another guy.
Kawhi Leonard for sure.
No, I don't think if you plug Kawhi on most teams, that puts them over the top.
What?
Who's all right?
Come
so
on,
you put
man.
Kawhi on Houston, that puts Houston. over
You
the
put
top.
Kawhi on the Cavs, they're over the top.
Oh, yeah, but the Cavs are not the only team in the NBA.
You just said Kawhi Leonard doesn't put teams over. You put
I didn't say
Kawhi Leonard on the
every
Cleveland
team. I said
Cavaliers.
most teams.
He puts them over the top today.
I said
I don't
most
care who you
teams.
give
Run
up.
the tape
You
back.
give up Kyrie. You
I
give
don't
up
care
Kevin
how
Love.
loud you get.
He
Just
puts
because
them
you're
over the
loud
top.
doesn't make the loud and wrong doesn't
Because
change.
I was
the
with
fact.
you until you start talking crazy, talking about some Kawhi Leonard doesn't put teams over the top.
I don't agree with you either. I agree with Everett.
I know you would. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Both of y'all could be wrong. You don't have to be regulated just to him. Both of y'all could be wrong. You add Kawhi to Houston, it doesn't put them over the top. You add Kawhi to Memphis.
Houston doesn't put Houston over the top.
That's the point. There's only two players in the NBA that, regardless of who you add, can put you over the top. So they're the only two players who are worth giving up a king's ransom.
I disagree. You put LeBron on the Clippers. Are the Clippers over the top?
Yes.
Goodbye. I'm out of here.
Here goes the LeBron here. You put LeBron on a team that was
Wait, don't leave the show's
64
over.
plus. 64 and like 1,000 in the 3 years before he arrived. Had multiple first
They
picks
went
in the
and
draft.
scooped another All-Star, and they took a guy who couldn't stay healthy and got him to
And
play.
they added LeBron, and they went and competed in 3 straight NBA Finals. You put LeBron
What
on
does
that.
that mean?
You put LeBron on the Sixers. They playing for a title.
It's the East. It's the East. The
Doesn't
East
care how you
stinks.
qualified. They're still playing for a title.
No. You put LeBron on the Nets. They competing?
Yes.
Lie.
Yes.
Lie.
Yes.
Wait, don't leave. No, really don't leave.
Producer, I'm out of here. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. We're up here talking grand lunacy on set.
let's just not. I was really enjoying your argument, though. I wasn't even going to cut you off. I was going to let y'all keep going. But
Well, we already talked to Paul George worth it, so I mean, at this point, you don't even need to further the argument. The bottom line is, you're trying to tell me that if you add Kawhi Leonard to this team, the fact of the matter is Kawhi Leonard's not available, and there's a reason why he's not. There's a reason why these guys
And there's
are
a
available.
Kevin Durant ain't available.
But
LeBron
there's
ain't
a reason
available.
why these guys are available, because they ain't as nice as they think they are. And I said ain't. I know my English teacher's gonna be mad. I said they ain't as live as they think they are. They're not worth it.
I don't think it's that they're not as nice. I just think that the teams they play with aren't good enough to compete, and they need to
But
change the
they're
regime
available.
there.
If all right, give me a team you think Paul George puts over this outside of the Cavaliers. That's low hanging fruit. We can debate that all day.
I mean, Golden State, they're already
Okay,
over the
but
top.
they're over the top. So give me the question
The
is,
Spurs. The Spurs. You put Paul George on the Spurs with Kawhi Leonard, they're over the top. Because the problem with Golden State that nobody wants to talk about is while you sit here and say that they have quote the
Don't
big
lose
four,
that pen. You don't have enough.
Draymond Green is not an offensive threat. He's not going to ever give you 20 per. The scoring, the bulk of the offensive scoring comes from Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant. You put two perimeter scorers out there.
All right,
there it is.
So that all right, that's one, and where's the other 29?
There's not. Listen, it's a 3-team race every single year, like the Sixers, Celtics, and Lakers of the '80s. It's a 3-team race.
So you mentioned the Celtics. Celtics won 50+ games in the Eastern Conference Finals. On the Eastern Conference Finals. Why wouldn't they go after Paul George? Why wouldn't they do anything possible to grab Paul George if he could put him over?
Because you know what you realized after that? Danny Ainge isn't in here for a 1-year rental. He's thinking longer term. He knows that even if they go and they compete and they take Cleveland to 7 games, so let's say they beat them. They're not beating Golden State, but he's going to lose Paul George anyway, and he's going to give up a war chest of guys in his arsenal to go get a guy for 1 year who could get hurt. Anything could happen. You lose IT again. Anything could happen.
I get what you're saying, but when the Cavs, I'm going to use a quick example to prove my point. When the Cavs took Kevin Love, was on a 1-year rental. Everyone and their mama assumed he was going to LA. The man had just bought a house in LA for crying out loud.
Right, because he's from LA.
So actually from Oregon. But the point is, and I apologize. You know, he is from LA. We'll just throw that out there. But the bottom line is, you bring him in there. They took a chance and they re-upped him. So if you believe this is the missing piece, you make that move. My point through all this diatribe and through the yelling and the bluster is Paul George, DeAndre Jordan, and Andrew Wiggins and other players of that nature who have been rumored to be available. Teams were not willing to give up anything more than dirty paper plates for them because they knew they weren't going to be the difference. Josh Jackson, for some reason, Jason Tatum.
Did you say dirty paper plates?
Yeah, dirty paper plates.
You want dirty use paper plates?
Do you want to use paper plates?
No.
So that's the point. You get the connection I just came with?
The visual just wasn't good. Yeah, I get it.
Well, I don't know what you do with your legs, but... So, yeah, the point I'm trying to make, though, quickly is that overall, they're not going to make you a championship contender. And you'd rather take a flyer on a guy, the unknown, than bringing a guy you know you're going to get. I think Paul George is a solid player, but he's not a great player.
Okay.
All right. Well, wow. You guys calmly agreed on something. I don't even know how to go into a break like that. Okay. We'll be right back. The NBA Finals on RBN TV.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth.
La Esperanza Mexican Restaurant and Bar, the best authentic Mexican restaurant in South Jersey. Your friends and family will enjoy the fun and the food, like our staple guacamole, tamales, and ceviche. Our weekday lunch special is just $7.99. We also offer Saturday and Sunday brunch. Enjoy the largest selection of tequilas in South Jersey, Mexican beers, bottle and draft beers, fresh margaritas, and daily beer and margarita specials. La Esperanza Mexican Restaurant and Bar, family owned and operated since 2002.
Hi, I'm Becky.
And I'm Eric.
And this is Cooked and Uncorked.
It is.
It is. And you can check us out Mondays at 10:30.
10:30 every Monday.
See you there. Got a quarter?
Hi, I'm Jim Cucinato. I'm inviting you to watch my show on the Halo Health Network on RBN. We cover everything you always wanted to know about health but was afraid to ask. We have interesting guests who can help you how to live healthier, how you can be smarter about your health, how you can help your family live healthier and be healthier. We are on Tuesdays from 9:30 Eastern Time to 10 o'clock. Please come and watch us.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth.
He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching.
This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
If you have a story or product that you'd like to share with our viewers as a guest on the Morning Coffee Show, please contact us at info@radiovisionnetwork.com.
Because I don't know where to go.
Welcome back to the NBA Finals on RBN TV. Okay, so you guys, this is my favorite segment. And I don't care. I'm changing the name of it, and it's going to be back to As the Sixers Turn.
There we go.
So it's our weekly ode to 76ers. So guys, you know, you guys were on opposite sides of the fence about LeVar Ball, the world's #1 dad. How do you feel about Ben Simmons and Joe Embiid? I always say, see, I knew I was going to say it wrong.
You don't need to know his name. He won't be here long.
Oh,
Yikes.
okay. So two guys who didn't register 1 minute in an NCAA tournament. Now they're like out here tweeting and taking shots at Lonzo Ball.
I'm gonna jump on this early because I have a serious issue.
Should they be?
No, they
tweeting?
shouldn't. No, they shouldn't. They need to sit down. Sit your old broke self down. And I'm speaking to you, Joel Embiid. How dare you attack somebody who won 20 plus games in college, played in the NCAA tournament, and you were hurt? How dare you attack somebody who was the second pick in the draft while you were the third pick in the draft because you were hurt? How dare you sit and attack somebody and the only reason why you have time to attack them is because you are what, Everett? What is he hurt? Hurt. Again. You see a trend here? You don't have the basketball resume to take shots at Lonzo Ball. He has done everything you've done and done it better. So how dare you step up and say you want somebody else to dunk on him so his daddy comes running on the court. Now, Ben Simmons, to you, you're the face of the NBA. You are on a higher echelon, higher plane. Don't get sucked in to the meat. But we're expecting him to be. He's part of an elite fraternity of #1 picks. And I'm sorry?
With Anthony Bennett.
With Anthony Bennett, that's fine. But you know what? Right now, you look at it, Y'all gonna stop taking shots at Anthony Bennett.
And Kwame Brown.
Double bags, please.
Paper
When you
play.
look at Ben Simmons, he's another dude that didn't register 1 minute in an NCAA tournament. And then you got the gall to call somebody else on pills because their dad stuck up for them. Your sister's often on social media. How would you like somebody to reference you when your sister's on social media putting her cleavage out there, putting long leg shots out there, model shots out there?
What's her name on
Is that a
Instagram?
big
But
stop?
no, I'm serious. She's
Add
done
follow.
these things.
Add and follow.
And add and follow. So how dare you do that? And you should know better. You're part of that elite club. LeBron James. You're working out with LeBron James. You're working out with Dwayne Wade leaders. When's the last time we saw LeBron take a shot non-basketball related at a player?
Oh, okay, because he
No,
definitely
but
took
that's
some-
my point. If it's a
okay.
competition thing, you can do it. But non-basketball related, to insult a man because of what his father said, and then through all of that, what the hell is his father supposed to say? Lakers gonna suck now. Alonzo there. What is he supposed to say? He's supposed to say they're going to win. They're going to go to the playoffs. See, here's the thing, Joel. I'm bringing it back to Joel. They have expectations on other teams to win and not tweet a lot and not dance at Meek Mill concerts and not walk around a freaking body cast for their entire career. Floor is yours.
Woosah. You
And
done?
Usa, I am tired of watching and reading about Joel Embiid doing things other than basketball.
Okay.
And being congratulated for
okay,
it.
okay. And your argument is more than valid and fair. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. LeVar Ball has spent the last year or so putting
Giving
his foot in his
everybody
mouth pretty often,
Yeah.
saying a lot of things that just steal limelight and bring the glory and the shine to him. Not his son, him. All about LeVar. It's not, anytime you say out your mouth, I could be Michael Jordan, go play in traffic, oncoming traffic while you're at it, okay? I'm going to call it what it is. People are sick of hearing him. I'm going to go a little different, and it's going to rub people the wrong way, but I'm going to say it. Being an African-American man who also has a voice, who wants to be in the limelight and steal thunder and draw attention to himself, rubs a lot of people the wrong way. We're going to call it a spade a spade.
But I'm fine with that.
Hear me.
I'm fine with
I'll let
that.
you rant for like 10 minutes. Let me hear where I'm going. When you are a guy who wants to take shots at players and says, "Oh, well, my son played with these slow-footed kids, and that's the reason they lost."
What did he say?
It doesn't matter. He said it. He should have not said anything. That same slow-footed kid also got drafted into the NBA.
Thanks
So
for this time, but go ahead.
while you, whatever. The point I'm making to you is he didn't have to say that, and that's what rubs other guys in the league the wrong way. Because, like you said, fraternity, the NBA is a fraternity. Everybody in there is a part of a brotherhood. So if one guy's out there with his family and he can't control them, and they're taking shots at other guys within that fraternity, if you know this as a frat brother, you ride for your frat brothers over your family sometimes. He needs to step up and tell his pop, "Yo, pop, chill." He's not done that. So people are now going to take the opportunity to take shots at him because he's in a team like Los Angeles. And listen, I'm a Laker fan. I'm very happy he's there. But the first time that he plays bad, people are going to rip him. People are going to rip his father. God forbid the Lakers don't make the playoffs. And right now, I don't see him as a playoff team because they need another move. But they don't make the playoffs, he's going to get ripped. You're going to see so many memes. They were ripping Magic Johnson hours endlessly after he traded D'Angelo Russell because he talked about how D'Angelo Russell was going to change the face of the franchise and beat his all-star, and then he moved him. So what you say comes back to haunt you, and now he's in a position where you're going to hear it. Now, I will piggyback to say this. Joel Embiid has no right to talk about anybody. You played 31 games in an entire 3-year NBA career. That's 31 games more than the three of us up on the panel.
Hold up, and we can divide. How many games is that a year?
Listen, you talking 10?
I'm a smart man. I can divide.
10?
That's, and one of them years was due.
Right. Listen, I'm going to go a step further and tell you that I saw a stat that showed that he's made over 2,300 tweets, give or take.
Yep.
He's played in less than 700 minutes. So what does that tell you? That man has 3 times more tweets than NBA minutes that he's played. That's shameful. How about you lay off Twitter for a little bit and focus on making sure you play with no restrictions this year, can play some back-to-backs and help the Sixers win some games. Because if he doesn't play 60 games, the Sixers will struggle.
Well, I'm going to take it back and just say this. How about he plays more than just the 1st and the 15th of each month? Let's start there.
Hey,
let's start there.
baby steps.
More than 2.
Why are you saying, like, why is this like playage, like welfare, like 1st and 15th?
His welfare is in the question, but I want to go back to this. It's the NBA is a fraternity, but why are they tweeting Lonzo and not LeVar? LeVar got a Twitter handle. Take them shots at him.
Because they're not going to see LeVar on the court, they're going to see
So,
Lonzo.
so if they're going at LeVar, or going at Lonzo because LeVar said that makes them, I don't want to say WNBA players, but they carry a trait that men don't carry.
That's the second misogynist.
That they carry a trait men don't carry.
I'm not gonna attack. I'm not gonna attack a dude that I'm never gonna see. When are they ever gonna see LeVar Ball? They'll see Lonzo.
But you don't.
If your pop is talking smack, I'm gonna take it out on you.
That's
Why
the new social media 140 character coward crowd, and that's what I have an issue with. And then I'm gonna jump further up. I hold Ben Simmons in a higher standard because he is going to be the face of this franchise. He cannot. Let's say.
What did he say? All he did was laugh.
No, he said pills. He opened the door of which Embiid walked through. And just let me say this. Let me throw this out. I know it's hypothetical and it sounds crazy. But if I told you Dwayne Wade and LeBron James were going to play together one day and win a championship, when they got drafted, you would have said, man, what are you talking about? Get off that stuff. Why you know what I mean? Lead the group, stop sniffing glue. Then it happens.
Okay.
Let's say Lonzo Ball comes available and the Sixers need a point guard and he produces throughout the league. You don't think he's going to remember that? I'll do you one better. You want to take shots at Lonzo Ball? There were only two players to do that. What if a player wants to ride with him? The same way the Knicks threw out Charles Oakley in Madison Square Garden and then the players came in defense. We didn't know behind the scenes that Charles Oakley and LeBron James had a close relationship. Now, what are the Knicks trying to do? Get players there. No, they're trying to get players there. Don't nobody want to play there. Right. Because they're through trouble. So everything has a ripple effect.
Well, listen, the Larry Nance made a big thing about Kobe. If you remember, Larry Nance Jr. made a big thing about Kobe with his rape case several years ago that he beat, whatever the case may be, and went all over Twitter about how Kobe was a lowlife, etc., etc., and then got drafted by the Lakers. And Kobe, being the more mature person, came to him and said, you know what?
Publicly.
Exactly.
Publicly,
because he got asked about it right away because they dug up something from 2009 on
Kobe
Twitter.
Said something.
And he said, listen, we're gonna smooth it over, and be a consummate professional. And I'm sure Larry Nance had to carry his bags for about 3 weeks. He probably had to buy dinner and all those wonderful things. But at the end of the day, exactly. At the end of the day, these guys are all here getting a paycheck to do a job. And when you come down to the neck of it, they can always put it to the side, smooth
all right,
out.
so
There's
this is as the 76ers turns.
Oh, you
so
trying to read it right?
Yes, that's what we need to be talking about. So they got the #1 draft pick in Markelle Fultz. So do you think that puts like Philly in like contention to be in the playoffs? Do you think that they will actually make it? Like,
I'm gonna say yes.
Across too.
I'm gonna say yes with the Patriots. Bill Belichick asterisk healthy. That's what they need. They get the Patriots asterisk healthy. If Embiid gives them 60 games, they make the playoffs. If he gives them 30 games, they don't.
Every time you say "if," I ask you to say, I have to give you the same quote.
I know.
If my mother had my father's part, she'd be my father. Look, ain't no ifs in sports. There's only certainty. There's only certainty. And they are not going to be healthy. That is certain. Embiid will be hurt. That is certain. There's going to be an issue between Fultz and Simmons trying to learn how to play with one another. And then there's that husky woman in the room again. Brett Brown can't coach. Brett Brown can't. Come on, man. Come on, man.
He's a good developer.
He's a good
of talent.
what?
He develops talent.
Robert
Covington,
and I got Nerlens Noel to your Robert Covington, and I got Jahlil Okafor, and I got TLC.
Actually, I think Jahlil Okafor is actually just a Jahlil Okafor thing. I don't think that's
okay. That's fine.
And by the way, Nerlens Noel did actually develop into a pretty decent elite level rim protector at the NBA.
Did he really? Because I remember a guy that was complaining about couldn't get off the bench. Season.
Yeah, but you understand the name of the game is basketball. If he can't put the ball in the hoop, he's going to have.
So how did he develop him?
Because he still is an elite rim protector. You got to understand. Everybody in the NBA has roles. You got guys that can score, guys that can facilitate, and you need rim protectors.
And he flourished even in his role. The Sixers were a wretched defensive player with him. I don't have the numbers in front of me with him on the floor versus when Embiid was on the floor. And I want to throw Embiid. Hold on. I want to throw Embiid out there too because Joel didn't improve.
I think he did. He's extended his range. He plays well around the hoop, and he's done better in terms of his ability to block shots. He's 7'2".
You shouldn't have range. You should be doing this, not this. He's shooting fadeaways at 7'2".
Marc Gasol does it.
I don't give a rip.
Listen, Marc Gasol does it. And Marc Gasol's top 5 at his position.
I don't give a damn what
Marc Gasol's top 5 at his position.
Marc Gasol wasn't picked 3rd in the draft. Marc Gasol was traded an add-in piece for Kwame Brown. We were supposed to be building a franchise around a 7'2" who you just told me extended his range and he's only played 30 games. That means he's lazy and he won't get his butt in the paint and fight. Look, Brett Brown has not developed anyone but T.J. McConnell and Robert Covington. That's because the Sixers refuse to cut their behinds.
Nah, Robert Covington's a good player.
Yeah. The Sixers have won how many games has he been in the building?
What is you gonna lay the feet of wins and losses at
It's
one
the
person?
players that they bring in and the guys that don't develop. It's all an accumulation. Big word. Accumulation.
Okay, so Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz.
Yes.
Who would you say is most likely to win Rookie of the Year?
Simmons, because he'll have the ball more.
I disagree with that 100%. We just might as well say this to Everett and Kwame disagree section. It'll be Fultz.
Yeah.
Is more likely because Fultz will actually have. That's why they brought him in. He is putrid running off the ball. He cannot move without the ball. He doesn't play any. Yes, it makes you regurgitate in your mouth.
Simmons can't play off the ball.
We don't know what Ben Simmons. Well,
everything we've seen about him, he can't. He has that. He's a ball dominant player.
We know Ben Simmons can rebound and we know he can pass. But what's going to get votes is the guy that scores 40 points. Who's going to score 40 points? Come on, Everett.
Who's going to average a double-double?
That wasn't the question.
Ben Simmons.
How you going to answer my question?
Ben Simmons will average a double-double. Ben Simmons will be more of the reason why the Sixers win than Markelle Fultz.
I agree with you there.
All right,
but
that's
the question isn't
win shares will matter.
Who's going to? Nobody's going
to win Rookie of the Year.
Well, I think he should win because he's got a higher win shares. Go ahead with that.
He's more valuable to his team. He'll win Rookie of the Year.
Bro, please.
Listen, Dario Saric almost won Rookie of the Year.
I know Rookie of the Year.
Dario
They care
Saric
about
did
buckets.
nothing and
They
almost
care about
won
buckets.
Rookie of the Year.
Stephon Marbury had more win shares than Allen Iverson, but the reason why AI won the award was because AI got buckets. And Markelle Fultz is more likely to get buckets. You're going to see 40-plus points and 1 assist. And everybody's going to talk about how great of a player he is.
No, I hope not.
Oh, my goodness. We will be right back with NBA Files on RBN TV. You guys got me all tongue twisted. I'm crazy.
Good.
Most of the time, it's easy to know which option is better. Other times, not so much. So it's good to know that Mazola corn oil has 4 times more cholesterol-blocking plant sterols than olive oil. And a recent study found that it can help lower cholesterol 2 times more. Take care of those you love and cook deliciously. Mazola makes it better.
La Esperanza Mexican Restaurant and Bar, the best authentic Mexican restaurant in South Jersey. Your friends and family will enjoy the fun and the food, like our staple guacamole, tamales, and ceviche. Our weekday lunch special is just $7.99. We also offer Saturday and Sunday brunch. Enjoy the largest selection of tequilas in South Jersey, Mexican beers, bottle and draft beers, fresh margaritas, and daily beer and margarita specials. La Esperanza Mexican Restaurant and Bar, family owned and operated since 2002.
Hi, I'm Becky.
And I'm Eric.
And this is Cooked and Uncorked.
It is.
It is. And you can check us out Mondays at 10:30.
10:30 every Monday.
See you there. Got a quarter?
Hi, I'm Jim Cuccinati. I'm inviting you to watch my show on the Halo Health Network on RBN. We cover everything you always wanted to know about health but was afraid to ask. We have interesting guests.
Welcome back to the NBA Files here on RBN TV. So we're back. All right, a subject that I want to talk about again is LeVar Ball. Like, so now that everything's over, he said his son was going to be, all 3 of them actually. The first, he's going to be a Laker, and he's a Laker. Is he a genius?
Talk to me, Late Yella. Talk to me.
No, he's not a genius.
Oh,
Prophet
get out of
maybe,
here.
but not a genius.
It's prophetic.
Yeah, prophetic. Listen, if the Lakers aren't bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the Lakers aren't bad last season, they have no shot at LeVar Ball. They needed so many things to happen for him to get there. They had to get the number 2 pick in the draft, which wasn't guaranteed because, again, according to experts, the Sixers were supposed to actually pick ahead of them. So there were a lot of things that had to have happened that happened right for them to get there.
Did you ever think the Lakers weren't going to be in the top 3?
I'm not saying that I didn't think that he wasn't going to be in the top 3. But what I'm saying is that if they were at the 3 spot, right? LeVar Ball doesn't get Lonzo Ball in LA.
Look, you kill me with the ifs, and I'm gonna say it again.
I said prophetic. I said I don't make him a genius
That's
because
just
a whole
fancy
bunch
way
of
to-
things
that's-
bounced his way.
That's just a fancy way to say if.
Listen, if I go play Powerball and I win, am I a genius?
Yet again.
I win Powerball tomorrow. Am I a genius? No, I'm lucky. I'm lucky.
No such
You
thing as luck.
don't think there's any strategy
Luck
to
is
get his
simply
kids where he got them?
opportunity meeting preparation.
How do you foresee your son going to UCLA and then getting drafted by the Lakers when you're going to be a top end lottery pick?
You don't know that. Maybe God gave him that vision.
I just said prophetic. Didn't I say that? I've said it twice.
But
Show
there
me
has to
anything
be
that
some
you said that doesn't
strategy. There
speak
has
to
to be some
prophetic.
strategy behind
He was
it.
going to be a top end pick no matter how it's spun.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why what makes him a genius. Who had the number one pick in the draft? The Celtics. Who did he refuse to work out for?
The Celtics got guards. It doesn't make sense for him to go there.
It doesn't make sense, maybe, but he refused to work out for them, so they couldn't see Lonzo Ball. Then
They wouldn't have taken him anyway.
I'm also going to point out the fact that this dude didn't work out for any other teams. Also, what did we hear about his workout for the Lakers?
We talked about
how
guys getting
bad
drafted.
it was.
We talked about guys not
Yeah,
getting
but
drafted.
this dude didn't work out for anybody. He didn't work out for anybody. And then he let out that Lonzo looked bad in workouts. So teams who may consider drafting him despite not working out decide not to.
No.
He laid the groundwork. Look, however you feel about the dude personally, which we understand, you got some issues with it. I give the man credit. My issue lies with the people that interview him and the questions that they ask him. But as far as what he's done as a father, and as far as what he did as guiding his son's career, he put him on the best team in the top 5 to exemplify and to accentuate his talents.
Yeah, in a market that makes sense, that's close to home.
And then to make Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka, two different spectrums of the cultural world, feel comfortable, he invites them over his house and has neighborhood kids, i.e. kids from impoverished neighborhoods, come out to Chino Hills, which is like $900,000 per house. He transformed his garage into a gym for them to work out. He has kids come out and work out, and he brings them all there and makes them pancakes with strawberries, dog. That man went all out. Come on, man.
We talking about strawberry pancakes.
We talking about a man that made Magic Johnson strawberry pancakes to make him feel better about having him in the Laker family.
Strawberry pancakes.
Yeah, strawberry pancakes.
So you're basically saying that he frauds for the media. Because he doing all that privately and then doing all that publicly.
You know what? I'm going to say...
Based on what you told me he did privately, ain't the same person we see publicly. Because the person we see publicly is this arrogant man.
Host just made
That's strategy. He's a businessman. Like what he even did... There you go. What he even did with the sneakers. Like, he's a businessman.
And he's a business. He's not just a businessman.
I
He's
think
a
he's trying
businessman. So, I mean, you got to give the man... Look, you may not want to...
Lonzo is the most talented of his 3 kids.
Hey, let me just throw this out.
Is he putting his other 2 kids in LA too?
I'm not worried about it. You know what? That's changing the narrative. Ain't nobody talking about them other damn kids. I'm talking about number 1.
Next year.
I'm talking about number 1. You're talking about the other 2 damn. I'm talking about number 1. And you referenced this earlier. As a black man,
right?
He allowed himself to be portrayed in a certain light, so you never heard anybody say anything negative about his son. You have not heard one person other than a couple glue sniffers say his son can't shoot a jump shot. And this dude shot, I believe, over 36% from 3. He was one of the top defensive guards in this conference. You did not hear anything negative about his game. The only thing you heard negative about him was his father.
His shot
His
might not
shot was
transition.
funky. That's what you heard. It might not transition. But we heard so many definitive negative things about
Who knows what's true and what his daddy made up. Strategy.
So just give him credit for that, man.
Listen. If every young impoverished young man had a father like that, there'd be a lot happier men walking around in this world. What I will say is I think that he does bring them up with a certain level of respect and discipline, and that's great. I think that when you see the way that Lonzo interacts with him publicly, he clearly has a certain level of admiration and respect for his father. You've never seen him disrespect his father or his mother, which speaks volumes to the way he was brought up in his household.
You very rarely see men disrespect his father. Most of it comes from the females who don't have children. I'm going to throw this out. Remember the movie The Usual Suspect? Remember the movie? They said the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing people. The greatest trick LeVar Ball did was taking the attention and scrutiny away from his son and put it all on him.
Fair enough.
All on him.
I appreciate it. I like seeing a dad, an African American father in NBA. We see so many mothers, not really fathers, but
yeah, that thing about Jason Tatum was awful.
The thing about Markelle Fultz, like I said, all we get is we're Rolling Stones. That's all we get. You know what I mean? Or LeVar Ball. That's the only alternative we have to see us like that.
Sometimes that's the fire and the passion that can drive somebody to become the best. Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Oh, right. Lord.
So that is it for this installment of... Yes, I hope he got a game.
Like 5.
That's it. Stop trying to play me. Oh my gosh. That's it for this episode of the NBA Files. If you missed any part of this episode or you want to relive the magic that is me
Kwame.
and Kwame Fisher-Jones and this guy.
Late Yellow.
You can go to
Not
the
this
NBA.
week.
You can go to the NBAfiles.com and catch up on this episode and previous shows for Kwame Fisher-Jones, Everett Terry. I'm Felicia Michelle. See you next time.
La Esperanza Mexican Restaurant and Bar.